We go.
She's now an advocate against domestic violence, hoping to create a home for victims here in Pensacola.
And when I turned back around, a shotgun was facing me and he shot me.
Williams was shot in the stomach, killing her unborn baby she had named Jamie.
She saved my life. You're not alone. You're not alone. And if I came out, you can come out.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of No More Silence. I got my partner in crime with me today, Ms. Carolyn Williams. Good morning, good evening, Caroline. How are you?
Vernon, I am doing well, doing great,
Well, you're
enjoying life.
looking good. You since you've been on vacation, been traveling around the world, and you look really refreshed. Huh?
I am, and I'm getting ready to go back on vacation.
It
Yeah,
must be nice. I know we have missed a couple of months for No More Silence because of our busy schedule. It wasn't me, it was you. It wasn't you, it was me. But we're back
yeah,
on track. We're
yeah.
back for
We
2026.
back on.
We're back on track again. We are going to see you every fourth Thursday of the month. If it's third Thursday or fourth Thursday, Carolyn, help me out.
It's the fourth. It's the fourth. It's the fourth. It'll
Yeah,
be every fourth Thursday at 7 p.m.
right. I don't know now. Is this the fourth or the third? Because we couldn't. We had a conflict for next week. So, but
No,
actually it is the
this
fourth.
is the
It is
fourth.
the fourth, right? We
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
right on schedule
We're
then,
on
no
time.
problem.
We're on
Yeah, we
schedule. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, all right then.
that was my mistake, not yours this time.
All righty then. This time, all right.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm
yeah.
trying to get better, so you don't have to fuss me out.
Okay, I'll give you a pass this
You
time.
you give me a pass this. All right, Cal. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this. But one of the I think was it November, October, November. Which month is it for National Domestic Violence? Is it October or November?
It's October. Yeah, it's October. Yeah,
October.
in October. Yeah,
All right. Well, let's get
but
on with the show. Go ahead.
huh?
I said, okay. Well, let's get on with the show. Let's talk about
All
No
right,
More Silence.
all right. Vernon, what I want to talk about tonight is the domestic abuse, the psychological effect that it has on an individual, and I think that's something that people don't understand. And so they go through. It starts off where, when they're in a relationship with someone and, there's love and what they think is love and they shower them with gifts and uh, they treat them like a lady, and even if they have children, they're taking the place of their father, and they're pretending to be the dad. And one thing I have seen when a woman get in a relationship with a man and he has children and she has children, what he do is he cater more to her children than he does his own. And a lot of times, the mom might not want them to. They don't have that relationship, and that's to me that's like a red flag. You need to find out why. Is she just doing it just to be despiteful, or is it some other reason why that she's acting that way. And so what happens is you get into this, and you got these butterflies, and a lot of it too, Vernon, that I'm seeing on social media. I'm seeing a lot on social media where a woman is involved with a man, and when they taking pictures, and they're acting like that, this great life, they really got it going on, and then you have that woman that's sitting there that is single. She feel like she missing out on something, but you have to realize that everything that you see on social media is not true. It's like a fantasy. And then later on, they got this house, and they're going on all these trips, and then later on you find out that the woman was in a domestic violence relationship. And so what happened is, when you're in those relationships, and when you're in it, you have a tendency to take on, the blame. If I hadn't have said this, if I had not done this, and everything would have been okay. So women and men, you just need to be careful. And brother, how do you feel about a woman or a man doing the dating on the they go on these and finding them a date
I'm not
on
going. You talking
social
about
media?
online? You talking about
On,
online? It's
on
online
social
dating.
media.
All right, Carolyn,
Yeah,
do me a do
online
me
dating.
do me a favor. Center yourself just a little bit. Go to your right,
Okay.
your other right over there.
Okay.
Yeah, other way, other way,
Okay.
other way.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
come on. No, you just the opposite of the way you
Okay.
just sit.
I done messed up, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Is that better?
come on, just a
Okay.
little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more.
Okay.
You got go to your left. Go to your left.
My left. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
your
going
left.
to my left. Okay.
Okay.
Am I
All right.
sitting now?
All right. Yeah, that's better. That's better, sugar. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. 'Cause you're not center. I'm one of these things. I'm one of these people. You need to be dead center of the screen because that's a TV thing. Okay, that's a TV thing. So you're
Okay.
a little bit off center. But your question to me is, how do I feel about? Ask the question again, so I can
Online dating. About
online dating.
online dating. Yeah.
Well, Carolyn, I'm an old man. Okay, when I was dating, there was no such thing as online dating. I kind of frown on online dating. I know that must be the new thing for young people to meet people. But the problem with it is that I'm assuming it is okay, Carolyn, only if they get to know that person that's online. Because people send their representatives; they'll never send themselves. I wrote this book on relationships, and we always talk about even absence of online dating. People do not represent themselves as who they are, and people sometimes fail to vet these individuals on who they are. Okay? So
Hmm.
I'm a little leery. I'm a little leery of online dating unless they are purely vetted in some way, in particular out of town on town. You got to know. I would advocate to any young man or any young woman that's out on the dating scene and that's just interested in finding somebody online. You need to do your homework. You need to do your investigating. I tell people all the time, and I write about it in my book. You wouldn't buy a car without doing some research. You do a Carfax check on it. Nobody will
Hmm.
loan you money unless they do a credit check on you. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. So I say you need to do a relationship check when on these people that you meet. Okay, because if you don't, you might live to little regret it. And talk to some of the friends. Talk to and watch behaviors. Carolyn.
What? Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
behaviors.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sometimes see how they treat other people. I know they treat you well because that's you the object of their desire. They're trying to catch you. But if they don't treat their friends well, they don't. And particular, the biggest red flag that I see is that when they don't treat their family well. If they don't treat their family well, then they're not going to treat you well. Okay, you can
Yeah.
you can better
Yeah.
believe that. And so Those are the little things that I think that people should do and check with, you know, check with those folks. And I know it sounds silly to me to say this, but not. They're gonna tell you who these girlfriends they with, and one of the biggest signs is with check with them about all these girlfriends. If they demonize them, oh that woman is crazy, this, that, and all that kind of stuff. Now what about the last girlfriend? Oh, she was crazy too. Well, everybody's not crazy.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and if you don't want to do it yourself, you know, have a friend of yours to check with that ex partner they've got, the ex wife or the ex girlfriend, and have them to see. Well, you've been dating so and so. How was he? Give me a little uh, check on him and see how did he treat. And kind of get to know folks a little bit. That's what I would
Well, I
recommend.
think when you're doing it online, it's very difficult to be able to see that behavior because when you're online, either you're doing it on the phone or whatever way you're doing it, and um, it's very difficult. It's different when you seeing a person face to face because when you in the presence of someone, you can pick up some vibes. You can pick up something just not right. And I think a lot of times what happened is the person don't pay attention to what they're feeling. They say, "Well, oh, it's just me." Either I had a bad relationship before, so this is just me. So we ignore those things and not knowing that you could be headed for disaster for someone that would really hurt you because you're doing it online. I don't like online. Now I know that some people, you might have had success with it, but with me, I'm just saying personal for me. I don't want to do any online dating. I'd rather meet that person, go out to dinner to meet them person, and then when they're talking, it's like things that you'll hear them saying. They'll be saying one thing, but you'll hear something else. And so you need to be aware of that, especially if you've been in a lot of domestic violence relationship, like I was in three, and I dealt with that Stockholm syndrome,
Right.
and that's when the abuse of when they plea and for forgiveness, and they promise they're going to change, and you believe that, and so what happens is you know uh, that and then you make excuses about it, and really what you're doing is you're protecting that person that has abused you, and I think that's something that people don't understand because they're going through Stockholm syndrome, and people don't understand that. So when they're telling you, they'll keep telling you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, and I'm going to do better, but they're not doing anything to be better. They're
Right.
not going to get any therapy. They're not seeing anybody, but they're saying, I'm going to do better.
They better gotta be careful about that. Carolyn, at some point though, they with the online dating, they have to meet in person sometime and somewhere. So you got to be vigilant of that and pick up some of the signs. And also online dating is, you know, with all the cameras and FaceTime and stuff like that, you still can see these people face to face a little bit and look at their reactions and so forth. If they truly is who they say they are, you'll be able, even before you actually get to meet them in person. So, like I said, I'm like you. I'm old school. I like the woo and woe in person. Okay, and
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but
But
but I
then you got
know
a
we
lot of
we behind
catfish.
times.
Yeah, yeah. You got a lot of catfish. They pretending like they're this person, and they're pretending like and then they don't want to go on the camera when they saying, well, you know what, something is wrong. I just don't like to be on camera and stuff. That
That's
is
a
a
red
red
flag.
flag. That's a red flag. And so many times, and what they do is they know how to hook you in. They just throw it out and reel it in, and because they're good at this, you're not the first woman or the first man that they have done this to. So they'll say, well, you know what? I don't want to be on camera. And you saying, oh, okay, well, let's meet. Well, you know what? I got my job. They making some kind of excuse so they
Hmm.
can't see you face to face. they can't. You don't get to know them like you're supposed to, and then they're gonna tell you, well, I'm having a hard time, and if you send me the money, and see, that's financial abuse. If you send me some money, then I'll be able to come. That's a red flag too. That's a red flag too. Yeah.
Carolyn,
And then you
Car-
send money.
Carolyn, Carolyn.
Yeah.
If anybody interject money into the equation, they need to run right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, even before they meet you and they start talking about money, that's a red flag if I ever seen one. That's a hot red flag. Go online, go and find somebody else online because that is going nowhere fast. Okay? You're going to be used and abused. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Not a,
Yeah. But yeah. But what they don't understand is if you've been through so many bad relationships that it can work on your mind. You can have anxiety, you can have fear, and all this, PTSD. They talk about people that's been in service and how they've been in war and stuff, and they come back with PTSD. But
see,
also, yeah, if you've been through, that was one of the things that I didn't realize myself, because you know during that time when got shot, I just went on this life as usual. I didn't know it's a lot of things, Vernon, that I did not know. And when you don't deal with these things and you think you're okay, later on in life, it catches up with you. And you're wondering why you're feeling this way, why you're having anxiety, why you're having panic attacks. And there's nothing wrong with going and getting help, going to see someone to be able to help you through that, because that what I went through, that was PTSD that I went through, and not even knowing that that's what it was. The trauma, not realizing that that was trauma. I thought that it was just, you think everything is normal, but it's not, and you wonder why you feel this way, and why you keep doing this, and why you're so depressed, and why you're so down and everything, and you don't go get the help that you need.
well, in going back to you saying online, because a lot of folks are online these days. Some of the tips I think that people need to understand is just you got to do your homework. If you look at a person's profile, if they got a incomplete profile or missing information about who they are, whether or not they got a job or they kids, or they're very vague, and sometimes you can only see them and you don't see a personal photograph. Sometimes you just see group photographs. And the best thing was in today's environment, you're online. Put that
Yeah.
person's name into a Google search and see what Google comes up with. I can tell you that. If they start asking you for money, send you a new picture, uh, stuff like that, those are big red flags. Okay? Big
Yeah.
red flags.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would, if I were you, I would not entertain that. If they, sometimes they can be aggressive, they can be pushy, and you don't even know them. Okay, you don't even know them.
Yeah.
And if that communication is spotty, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you hear from them, sometimes you don't. Uh, all that stuff, those are tremendously red flags. Money, if they ask you for money anytime in that online relationship before you meet them, run. That's a huge red flag. Number one, you might be catfished. Number two, you might be scammed. Uh, it's a lot of stuff that you can encounter. And don't be. They got a term, Carolyn. They talked about with online dating when people start. I think the term is love bombing or something like that. They start
Yeah. Yeah.
being so
Yeah.
affectionate to you and I love you. How you gonna
Yeah.
love somebody you ain't met them yet? Stuff like that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
people fall for the old okie doke. Okay, so
just from a conversation.
exactly, exactly, and that sometimes people are so vulnerable sometimes, that they tend to fall for that. And you see the red flag, but sometimes
Yeah.
let you take a risk. But please don't. Try not to take the risk. Do not try not to take the
And
risk.
another thing, Vernon, you have to realize too is that, and this is what I have learned by going through all that, and even now in my life, uh, I allow that to be because I didn't really love me,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have gotten to the place where I really love Carolyn. So I can love myself whether I'm with someone or without anyone
Mm-hmm.
because I love me and I'm not going to let anyone disrespect me. I'm not going to let anyone uh, tell me, although I can tell when you're lying because I've been in it. And so I can tell when you're not telling me the truth and how you're trying to uh be like a smooth operator and you're trying to control, in other words, control me.
So yeah.
Because when you believe what they're saying, they are controlling you. And nobody, and once they start doing that, Vernon, no one can tell them anything different. They're gonna always listen to that person, and then they're gonna get mad at you and say, "Well, you don't just want me to be happy. You just don't want to see me with nobody." But that's not the case. I know I had one young lady, and she was the guy was in prison, and so they was communicating and writing each other, and so when they get out and they have to go on parole, then they need a place to stay. They got to give an address. So that's what he was trying to do, was trying to get him an address. So she, she said that, she's going to marry him and this and that. And I told her, I said, well, let me just tell you to do this for me. I say, wait till you go home and wait till you go to his hometown and meet his family. I
Right.
could say because somebody in the family either gonna be drunk Joe or somebody gonna tell you the truth and gonna tell you you don't need him. I say go meet the family, go meet some of his friends. You don't know anything about him. If you do, somebody gonna call you to the side and do something. But
Mm-hmm.
she didn't do it. She decided that she was gonna go head on and get married. And then he seeing the girl down the street and she's going through all this verbal abuse. And so, but if you had a and then she told me, she said, that's what she told me. You just don't want me to be happy because you ain't got nobody and you don't want me to have. I said, okay, fine, fine. But it didn't last long. It did not last long because he had so much control and he was saying that, she don't really like you, Carolyn don't really like you, she don't really care nothing about you, and she don't want you to be happy. And so then she started being isolated and wouldn't take my phone calls or anything. But yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
that
yeah,
Carolyn, I think you've been through it, so people ought to listen to you
yeah,
because you experienced it firsthand. And it's not about love; it's about power and control for that individual.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
And those signs are obviously there. And you just said earlier, one of the first things they do is isolate you from your family and friends. So you
yeah.
can only hear
And
this
friends.
one voice.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can only hear this one voice, and then they demonize everybody that's around you, making you think that nobody else is careful. He's the only person that cares for you. Don't buy into that. Do
yeah,
not do that. That is the first sign. If they can get you isolated from your family, you're isolated from your friends, then they can control your mind. Okay? Definitely
yeah,
control your mind. They can do a lot of emotional manipulation. You don't
yeah,
even know what's happening. You just don't know what's happening. And Carolyn, your experience is so important. Okay? So important. You went through this more than once. You was almost killed as a result, and then went back. That's just how strong. And what we've tried to do is not demonize the person because we only human. We know that. Okay,
yeah,
we know that.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
will want to tell you a little bit for the red sign so you can do it for yourself. But sometimes they will reject it. They'll tell you when people try to Carolyn when you was in that situation. Do you remember when folks trying to tell you about your relationship?
But the thing about it, Vernon, that's the thing about it. Nobody, I had a couple of people that would say something about, um, it's not good enough to say, well, you need to leave them. That's all people will say. But they never told me about, the help that I can get. They never did. I didn't have the education about domestic violence. I didn't know that, because you think that when they isolate you and they calling you all these times, you really think that that is love. You don't recognize it as being control. You know when you recognize it when it's being controlled, when it's really too late,
Yeah.
and then you want to leave, and then you're gonna tell them you leave. I've been seeing. I watched 4 shows where the women say, well, you know what, told the man I'm leaving, and what he
Mhm.
did was he killed them, the children, and them and himself.
Right.
Because you have to have you have to have a plan. If you're gonna do it, you don't need to say anything. But then it take them a while to really for their eyes to be open, and that's what we need to do is be able to understand, have compassion, have
Carolyn,
empathy, not to judge them.
we only got a couple minutes left. Tell them how they can find some help. Okay. What
Okay,
lines?
you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that's at 1-800-799-7233. Or either you can call the Florida Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-500-1119. In our local place here, you can call Favor House 850-434-6600. And you also can call Legal Aid, and that's 850-432-8222. And also you can call Jamie's house at 850-291-4624. Even if you're not ready to get out of it, just call and get the information. So when you are ready, you know exactly what to do.
Right. And a lot of information out there available to you. You just need to emphasize it, exercise
Yeah,
it. Whether you're in the military or not, there's a military line there, 877-995-5247. And
correct.
so get the information that you need. Carolyn, I was trying to find you. I know you got Jamie's house, and you have Cash App.
If
And
you
I
would
was
like
trying to
to
find your Cash App so they can help support this
Okay, if you would
program.
like to donate to Jamie's house is JAMIESHOUSES 20. And also, if you would like to be a sponsor of No More Silence, um, give me a call or either give Vernon a call. And what we would do is, if you have a business or something, we would advertise your business or whatever. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you would also like to be a guest on the show, you can call 850-291-4624.
Carolyn, our time is you know how time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
our time is about up. Tell them again when they're gonna be able to see us again.
We'll be back on in February, and it'll be on the fourth Thursday of the month at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. y'all. Okay, 7 p.m. All right, Carolyn. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, that'll be all.
All
Oh,
right.
Vernon, do one thing for me. Tell them about how they can watch you in the morning. Just give
Okay.
them
You can
tune in.
in the mornings you can tune in. I don't have the graphic, but just go to my app. Just download the WBQP radio or TV app. Easy. There's a just go to to dot RDO .co/WBQP. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's an easy way of getting it. I'm gonna see if I can put it on here really quick, Carolyn. On the thing here.
Okay.
Let me see
And if
here.
you're having an
Uh,
event or you have something going on, you can contact Vernon. Um, and talk to him about that. And you could be on the radio, and also it's on television, right, Vernon?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right. It's on radio and TV.
you're
Uh,
right.
but anyway, we got to go. I
What
thought
I'll do is I'll put it
I
on
was
my
trying to find
page.
the graphic. Put it on your page. It's RDO.
I'll put it on my page.
.to /. And then when you're on there, y'all please share it. When you're on Facebook, share it. You can either, it's easy to get. Just download the app, Carolyn. If I tell folks all the time, just download the app on your phone here, and we got 2 or 3 apps. Download them all on see whenever you're trying to do something it don't work always, Carolyn. I was gonna pull it up. See those apps there? WBQP TV got an app for the
Yeah,
TV and they got an app for the radio. Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so any of those apps you can go to any of the Play stores. You can get it on Alexa. If you got an Alexa, just tell Alexa to enable the Alexa skills. Alexa enable the WBQP skill, then you'll be able to. And after that, after she enable it, then just tell her Alexa to play WBQP. You got car plays on car plays. So we're almost
Okay,
everywhere, Carolyn. Okay. Thank you,
okay,
sugar.
good.
We got to get
All
out of here.
right,
We'll
thank
see you
you.
next month. Okay. All right, y'all.
All right, good night, Vernon.
Good night, sugar. We'll see you later. Okay. All right, y'all. Miss
Okay.
Carolyn Williams